Okay.
This session we talk about ITL process. What is ITL process? How this operating procedure is working? How the services is going to provide to respective client or in-house? Okay, what is all of this talks about? What is this process? Technical knowledge is different. The process knowledge is different, and at the same time, business knowledge. Technical, as you understand what is a server administration, whoever is it, application or server administration, whoever it may be working on a system, supporting a client in application point of view or a server point of view, infrastructure point of view, anything, any component and IT services, they are going to come as a technical support. Okay. A software engineer is providing some support and the technical team is supporting some support. Everything comes under technical support, technical knowledge. Okay. If any issue comes in, how to fix, how to troubleshoot, it is a responsibility of technical team. Okay. Now, what is the process knowledge? Process knowledge in the sense, as a organization, okay, we need to follow certain principles, certain practices to make sure it is going flow in a certain direction, certain process. That is talks about ITIL, Information Technology Infrastructure Library. Okay, ITL, its certification is also available. If you are looking for a job in IT industry, okay, it requires some technical knowledge. Equivalent to technical knowledge, you should have a process knowledge. Okay, what is the business knowledge? Business knowledge, business process is all talks about knowing about the customer to whom you are providing the service. Who is the manager, who is the VP, who is the director, who is going to provide approvals to perform an action. As a small organization, you can do on your system any action. You can reboot, you can do modification, you can remove the components, you can uninstall the components, you can do on your own as per your wish. As soon as it is comes under IT industry, eh, following certain practices, you need to understand the process knowledge. Okay, what it talks about, any action, whatever the action you are going to perform on the system, on the software component, there is a certain practices you need to follow. What are the practices? Okay, this practices framework, the whatever the all process we are going to talk about, the practices, they are going to define certain practices, that process flow, you call it as ITIL. Okay, the certification also available. We need every technician who are working getting exposure, technical knowledge, technical certification as how it is important. The same way process certification is also very much important in the IT industry. Okay, so we should understand what is ITIL. Okay, it is a set of practices. What practices? To manage IT services management. IT services management in the for the environment, there are systems available, network devices available, operating systems are available, different components are available. All these components process and the components, what to do, what not to do, to whom we need to approach to perform certain action. There is a flow of control. It is not your responsibility. It is not you should not take any action without following the certain process. Okay, even you are well known and technical expert to perform certain action, without providing certain following certain process, you should not perform any action. Okay, on your laptop you can do whatever you want on your personal DP. As soon as you are working for an organization, you need to follow certain process. That process details, it talks about ITIL. Okay, so coming to SLA, this is all talk about ITL. Okay, then what is SLA? SLA in the sense service level agreement. whenever a company, a organization is providing a service to a certain customer, like IBM is providing a service to certain customer, there is an agreement between the service provider and the customer to signing a document. What is that signing a document? Agreeing certain terms and conditions. Okay. And what that conditions, what service you are going to provide, how it is going to resolve, what are the technologies you are going to cover, how many engineers are going to work, okay, to whom you need to follow. If any issue comes in picture, how many work hours it is going to finish. Okay, these all details are going to mention that agreement, that is service level agreement. Okay, with that agreement only we'll come to know what we need to do on the process wise. Okay, there are different set of rules available. They are going to define this particular service is available. If any issue comes in picture, it will be available within this much time. For this is a charge. Okay, everything will be detailed plan will be mentioned in that SLA document, that is agreement. And then SOP, what is SOP? Standard operating procedure. Okay, what we need to do if any issue comes in picture, what flow of control we need to follow, to whom we need to approach. If any issue comes in for every technology, what is the process flow, whom to approach, who is going to work, and what way it is going to work, what way it is going to perform. Everything it is going to define in a SOP. Okay, standard operating procedure. Okay, for example, you are installing operating system, server operating system. While installing server operating system, you need to follow certain process. Okay, you are not in a position to perform as per your wish. You need to follow certain process. That process defined by this SLA agreement. If the server or new server you are going to deploy a new server in the environment, what are the components are required, what are the prerequisites are required, a network is required, hardware components required, software license is required, manpower is required. All those things, how many team members are going to work to become build one, deploy one server. Once server is deployed, the application team is going to install application. They are going to configure the services. Is it going to be coming to the test environment, dev environment, or prod environment? There are set of rules, there are practices, everything it is going to define in this particular SOP and SLA agreement. Okay. So these are the set of practices, process knowledge. This entire comes in a process knowledge. Okay. And this entire structure, as an administrator, as a server administrator, we are going to work on certain tools. Okay, ticketing tools. The ticketing tools may be anything, Remedy, their cloud tools, any kind of ticketing tools. They are going to follow the certain process. What the process is going to follow, ITL. Remedy is one well-known tool for a ticketing tool. SolarWinds, okay, Salesforce. There are different tools are available according to the customer and client agreement. The service provider in the sense anyone who is going to provide a service to the customer client. In Bangalore itself, we can call it as a Chroma or Reliance Digital are customers. Okay, whoever providing service to their system, their servers, their service provider. A service provider can be IBM or a Dell or a HP, Hewlett Packard, anything. The service provider and customer, who is going to provide a customer? The banks, ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank entire systems are going to maintain by some service provider. It is not going to maintain by ICICI itself. Okay, so ICICI Bank, it is outsourcing to the some company to provide the service to take care of infrastructure. Okay, that we talk about between the service provider and customer. Between the service provider and customer, there is an agreement. That agreement is a SLA agreement, what process we need to follow, standard operating procedure. Between this service provider and customer, they are going to mutually understand what tool, what ticketing tool we need to use. Okay, either Remedy or SolarWinds or Salesforce. There are n number of tools are available. So according to license agreement, according to cost of that tool, the compatibility, interoperability, everything they are going to check. Okay, according to the availability features, the license cost is going to increase. Every component is going to cost matter. If they are looking for all features, okay, what are the features, they name it. If they are looking for all features should be available, they'll go for whatever the product, it's providing support for all features, whatever the customer needs. According to customer needs, the service provider is going to maintain what tool we need to use for ticketing. Okay. So coming to incident management. What is the incident management? Incident management, it all talks about break fix. Break fix in the sense, as soon as if any issue comes in picture, as a server administrator, you are facing some issue. What the issue? Service is in stop state, or a dispatch issue, or user not able to log in. All these components comes in incident management. How the incident management is going to work in environments. Okay, what is the incident management is going to work? There are, as per service level agreement, there are priority wise. What is the priority wise? There are different, we call it as a P1, P2 ticket, P3 ticket, P4 ticket. Okay, incident ticket, incident number. Okay, this is a ticket wherein we are going to work as a priority, urgency, impact analysis. Okay, impact analysis in the sense critical. If the server is down, if that server is impacting the entire environment, entire the organization, so that service is availability is must. For example, user is not able to log in. One user is not able to log in, our entire organization is not able to log in. As soon as the customer starts their operations, they are trying to log into the systems. They are trying to log into the systems. They are not able to log in. It is not a single user issue. It is a multiple users issue. So according to the impact of the business, the priority is going to create. That is a critical issue, a major impact to the business. For example, hospital. According to the environment to environment, how it is the impact analysis, it depends. If one particular server is down, it is stopping entire their operations. They are not going to take any billing activity. They are not able to sell any product. That is one retail business function, Chroma, Reliance Digital, or anything. They are unable to generate the bill. They are unable to sell the product. They are stopping their products, and it is impacting only certain area, or it is impacting entire organization. If you consider hospital, the system, server system is there on the sun, and the monitor, then operation theater, they are monitoring the patient operation. If that monitor is not working, if the report is not working, the scanning device is not working, what is the impact there? The impact is huge, because the patient, the performance services, the upon time, what is upon time? Okay, according to impact of the incident, they are going to agree that SLA, service level agreement, what is the critical, if any critical issue comes in picture, it should be resolved, it should be accepted within 5 minutes, and it should be resolved. If in a P1 critical event, it should be resolved within 1 hour. For example, if it is related to hospital, the incident, critical incident, if they identified it as a critical for their organization, they'll treat as a critical event. Critical event means how much time it should be resolved. So if a P1, for example, hospital environment, the P1 result time is should be 1 hour, maybe 1 hour to 2 hours max. All team members are going to join, all SMEs are going to join if any P1 issue comes in picture, critical event in picture, because it has to resolve as much as possible. If it is not resolved within 1 hour or 2 hours, the service provider is going to pay the penalty to the customer. If it is resolved within the time that is agreed as per agreed SLA, then for that service, the customer is paying some amount to the customer service provider. That is the impact analysis. If the single user impact is only one user is not able to log into the system, it could be a P3. It is not a critical, it is not a high, a medium or low incident. Okay, only one user impact. It is not impacting any business, any impact to the organization. It is not creating any problem to the respective issue. That instant management, how fast we have to resolve the issue, it all depends upon instant management. Okay. Impact analysis, the priority, the urgency. For example, in this same structure, if the user, whatever the user I said, it is a single user impact, that user is not able to log in, we can consider as it is a medium or low. But if that user is a director of the organization, vice president of the organization, according to user function also, it is going to increase the impact analysis. If the vice president or director is not able to perform some action, entire organization is not, it is going to in a position to halt. So according to that user, who is the user? That comes in picture business knowledge. Who is the person? According to the user, is it a single user? What is role? What is the capability? What is the importance of that particular user? Everything is going to define in this SLA. According to that, is comes under P1 incident or P2 incident. P2 means high, a small, medium, high impact. High impact in the sense it is not critical or it is not medium. The number of users may be instead of one user impacting maybe one particular division. Maybe finance division is getting impact. It is not entire organization, it is only impacting some finance division. Some portion of the organization it is getting impact. So that is according to what impact analysis, everything it will be defined in the service level agreement and standard operating procedure. According to those agreement and process knowledge, this P1, P2, P3, and P4 are going to come into picture. So incident management is nothing but a quick break fix. If P1 is SLA agreement, as per SLA agreement for some customers like hospitals, the duration of resolve the ticket is 1 to 2 hours, maybe 1 hour for P1. P2 is going to be a 2 to 4 hours. P3 may be 8 hours. P4 may be 24 hours. Who is going to define this 1 hour resolution, 4 hours resolution, or anything? It is going to define between the service provider and the customer. My service should be up and running. If any critical issue comes in picture, it should be resolved within this time. The customer is going to ask, and service provider is going to give an assurance. For that, they are going to charge basis. Okay, if they are not going to fulfill this requirement, if the SLA is breached, SLA breach in the sense that issue is not going to fix within a defined time, then immediately the service provider is going to pay the penalty to the respective customer. That is agreed between the service provider and the customer. This all talks about instant management. Instant management is nothing but a quick break fix. How to quick the service and restore the service as much as possible, as soon as possible. A quick break fix, whatever the service you have facing issue and outage facing an issue, that issue need to be fixed within defined time. That defined time, what is the defined time for P1? It is all depend. For hospital environment, P1 may be 1 hour. For retail customer, the P1 may be 4 hours. It all depends upon, according to that duration of the service resolution time, the service provider is going to define the cost. Okay, if the high critical environment, the service provider is going to charge more. According to that, the service provider is going to recruit number of engineers, number of service experts, number of technical experts. If the small customer, the SLA is not going to create any impact. Even the server is down, it is not going to impact their business. Then P1 ticket may be 12 hours window also, maybe 1 day also. It is all depends upon service level agreement. Okay, that is incident management. Incident management, it is a where we are going to create a ticket in the tools. What are the tools? Remedy tool, SolarWinds, Salesforce. There are a number of tools are available. Okay, what tool we are going to use, what customer is asking, according to that the service provider is going to follow this, what tool we need to use. We are going to use this tool to provide this instant management, this ITL process and everything they are going to define. That is instant management. Okay, P1, P2, P3, P4. Critical, high, medium, low. These are the types. Critical means P1 instant, high means P2 instant, medium P3. Okay. How many tickets are generated according to set tickets availability also, they are going to estimate that's the whatever the service they are going to provide. If any more P1s coming into picture means, if the more P1s in the environment, for every day there are number of 10 P1s or 50 P1s means there is instability. There is no stability in the environment. Every issue, more critical issue is not coming up. How to fix that issue? Why the more P1s are coming? That is also matter. Okay, they are going to maintain the environment. Whatever the environment they are managing, it is not stabilized environment. If more incidents are coming into picture, why those more incidents? What is the issue? It is not a kind of a break fix. We need to fix a permanent solution. If the incident is a break fix, for example, server is unexpected reboot, that is having an incident, break fix, server is down. Immediately you are going to see and going to power on the server. That fix the issue. Okay, close the issue, incident closed. If second day or third day also again the same server with the same error, it went to shutdown state. It went to down, the server is down again, the same reason. If it is the same issue repeated more than 2 or 3 times, that particular issue needs an investigation why it is happening. With a quick break fix, we are not in a position to fix the issue. So that particular issue, whenever the same issue is repeated more than 2 to 3 times, we should not close that instant. Okay, we have to open a problem ticket. Problem management. What problem management? Problem management is going to come into picture wherever the investigation is required to find the root cause. To find the root cause. That is, we call it as root cause analysis. Root cause analysis, RCA. We call it as RCA. Okay. This problem ticket, whenever there's repeated incidents are coming for the same issue, the break fix, immediate break fix is not resolving the issue. As a permanent solution, what permanent solution we can provide this incident should not occur, or to avoid this incident. Okay, then the problem management comes in picture. What's the problem management talks about? Problem management, it all talks about how to identify the issue, performing analysis, investigation, how to fix that issue as a permanent approach. That again here also P1, P2, all the same things comes in picture, but impact analysis in incident management, P1 may be 1 hour or 4 hours. Here in problem management, the impact analysis, the analysis it may require 1 day or 2 day or 3 day or 4 days. Okay, P1 means generally 1 day to 4 days as per the agreement. That within 1 day or 2 days or 4 days, that engineer need to analyze and investigate on the issue and identify what is the causing the issue. If a server is having an unexpected reboot every and then what the engineer has to do, they need to investigate. They are going to perform a blue screen dump analysis. DMP, memory DMP, we know how to configure DMP, memory DMP file, blue screen analysis. So we need to investigate all the logs, all the possible ways to identify what is the root cause. So P1 means maybe 1 day to 4 days. P2 according to the number of days. Most problem tickets comes under P3. Maybe it requires maybe 1 month. It is the definition, the time frame also defines in the SLA agreement. Okay. Whenever the incident comes in, what they are going to refer, we already created a problem ticket to investigate this issue. And they refer this problem ticket in this particular incident and mention that we are investigation is going on. We are already created a problem ticket for this issue and we are working on that. We are going to update the ticket information in that particular P1 incident. So that's the process, the standard operating procedure. We need to provide us proper updates. If it is a normal organization, if you are working in a small organization, what you'll do, if server is going down, we'll try to reset, we'll try to reboot. We are not going to contact, we are not going to update any information anywhere. Simply fix the issue and inform the user. But here we are following certain process. There is a ticket number. How many tickets are available for this particular server in a last month? They are going to perform analysis. How many tickets are generated for this particular server in last 1 month, the last 1 year? All those information they are going to pull out to understand the trend analysis. What is the issues and environment? What are the break fixes? How the ticket count is reduced? What are the root cause analysis? What the problem management? How many problem tickets are resolved? The engineers are going to assign these many problem incidents, these many incidents management. Okay. For example, who is going to work on which ticket? Then the concept comes in. The problem management and incident management that comes in. L1 engineer, L2 engineer, L3, L4 support. I told you P1 means it's a critical. Critical and high generally is going to take by, who is going to take care by critical incident, high incident? It is L3, L4 engineers. L3 means level 3, level 1, level 2 in the sense basics are troubleshooting. Basic troubleshooting, disk space issues or service restart issues, performing Windows updates on the server, where small functions without impacting analysis. If that particular incident requires analysis and root cause to be understand, investigation has to perform, then L3 engineer or L4 engineer is going to come into picture. Generally, all critical incidents, who is to handle? Is a critical incident can be handled by L1 engineer? No. This also they are going to define in the service level agreement and SOP document. If a critical incident, what level of engineer is going to work? How many L3 engineers are available in the organization? I am providing this many L4 engineers, these many L3 engineers to support your organization. That they are going to define this SL agreement. How many headcount these to support these many servers? Okay, that L1, L2, L3, and L4 support that comes in picture. Okay, so for incident management, generally L1 and L2 is going to take care of incident management for medium and some low incidents. Some high incidents also they can take care. If they are not able to resolve that incident, they treat that if it is a requires an expert support, the L1 and L2 engineer is going to escalate to next level. That is L3 support and L4 support. Okay, so this is a process, this process definition. If it is not resolved by L1 and L2 engineers, to whom we need to assign the ticket? By providing proper updates in the ticket. This is the investigation I performed. This is the issue. We need to provide a clear information in the tickets and provide an updates. I log into the server. I found that issue service is in stop state. I restarted the service. Now application is working fine. I got the informed the user. User is who are created user, we inform the user. User confirm that application is working fine. Hence, I'm closing the ticket. This is a step by step what action you did. They are going to verify these logs again later. The management is going to verify who updated the tickets, what is the issue. They are going to take it as a reference. Okay, we need to provide a document. Whenever there is issue comes in picture, we are going to fix in certain process, and whenever that issue comes again in the future, they are going to refer some documents. So as an engineer who are supporting the environment, they are going to provide knowledge base article. Knowledge base article. So we need to define, we need to prepare documents. If an issue comes in picture, as a L3 engineer or L4 engineer, if it is escalated to L3 and L4 engineer, what is going to do for this particular issue? This is a procedure. You need to log into the server, you need to check this configuration parameters. After that, you need to check this. There is a certain document process. The document process, we need to refer. This tickets that are going to update, I followed this KBA document, KB article. KB article, knowledge base article. Knowledge base article, who is going to prepare these documents? The engineer is going to prepare the document. What are the steps he followed? So that document is going to refer for L1 and L2 engineers to follow the document if the same issue occurs in next future. Okay, whatever the incident comes in, they are going to refer, is any KB document available in the environment. They are going to refer to the document and try to address that issue. If they are not able to address that issue, they'll escalate to L3 and L4 engineer. This applicable to incident management and problem management. Mostly problem management also, it requires an investigation. So L1 and L2 engineer may be busy with incident management. So problem management most of the time is going to take care by L3 and L4 engineers. Okay, this is a process knowledge. Once this problem management, the root cause identified, as per analysis, they identified some issue with the environment, that particular server or the particular component. Then what they need an change. We need a change the parameter on the server. We need to do some action on the server. Whenever the server, the component is there, requires a modification, that requires a downtime, that requires a modification on the environment. For example, to fix the blue screen error, they identified it is issue with the memory card, or they find that issue is the some driver. To update the driver, to install certain fix, to do some action, they cannot do under problem management. First, what will happen? From incident management, they refer to problem management to investigate further analysis. The problem management engineer, what is going to perform is going to perform the analysis and understand this is the issue. To fix that issue, I need to do this change on the server. To modify on the server, to install certain component on the server, what they're doing, by referring to this problem ticket, I'm creating this change record. Change management is going to come into picture when there is a modification on the server. For any component, anything on the server, anything component related to software update or a driver update or component change, processor change, RAM change, anything, any component in the server, to do some modification, it requires a change management. Change management in the sense, that change management, how it is going to work, it is different process. If the change is required immediate, then they'll call as emergency change. Emergency change, normal change, standard change. Different changes are available. These are the basic things. Emergency, they'll say that expedited change or normal change or standard change. What is this concept comes in? Emergency change in the sense that action we need to perform immediately to fix the issue. Otherwise, it is going to impact the business. And next day, I need to fix that issue as soon as possible to fix that issue permanently. I cannot wait until certain time. Generally, change management is going to cover by some body, cab call, okay? Change advisory board. Change advisory board. So what is a cab management is going to do? They are going to cover from customer side, few people are going to join the call, and service provider side, they are going to few technologies, while Windows technologies join, in a Linux technology they'll join, different technologies are they going to join in the call, and technical team going to join the call. They are going to explain that thing, what I am going to do the change, what is the implication if I am not going to perform this change, what are the services are going to impact. So in the CAP call, what they are going to do, they'll come to an agreement, understanding the impact analysis, and they'll provide an approval to perform that action. They'll provide certain time window. Okay, we need to perform this particular time to this particular time, this action. We should not allow, we are not going to approve. Okay, these all decisions are going to come into picture in the CAP call. In the CAP call, all applications, infrastructures, and management layer, everyone is going to join the call and discuss about that issue and understand this. I am going to, as a technical team, you are going to represent that particular change. I am going to perform this action. Then, according to the action, the application guys or the management guys, they'll ask different questions. Is going to impact any business? What is the impact if the server you are going to modify? If you are not going to modify, what is the impact? If you modify, what is the impact? If this failed, you are not able to do perform the action, required action as per the agreement. What is the backout plans? What is the installation plan? What is the test plan? All those things we are going to provide in that change record. Installation plan, what is steps you are going to follow to fix the issue? What is the test plan you are going to perform? What is the backup plan you are going to perform? For installation, how much time it is going to take? For test plan, how much time it is going to take? For backout, how much time it's going to take? Okay, if it is a fail, how quickly you can restore the service? Okay, you are doing some action. It may success or it may fail. You should have a plan in place to revert back. Okay, what are the steps you are going to follow? That's everything we need to mention in the change record. Incident management, what are the action you are going to perform? You are updating and closing the issue. In problem management, you are investigating. What are the investigation steps you followed? You are mentioning there. I did this step, I did this step, I understood this is the log, I verified this is the log. That is problem management. In change management, you are going to fix some issue. You understand that this is going to resolve the issue. For that, what are the steps you are going to perform? Installation plan. I'm going to log into the server. I'm going to verify this driver. I'm going to update this driver. So the driver is already downloaded and kept in some path. So I can access that path. I can install this path. Okay, if any services to be stop state, I can stop state on the services. And once this installation done, I am going to reboot at this time. Once server is coming online, I'm going to verify all these functions are working properly. This is a step-by-step procedure you are going to update in the change record. So according to the change record, what is an emergency or a normal or a standard, anything, you need to prepare a plan, installation plan, what actions you are going to do. This change management is some people. As a technical people, we are going to provide a technical solution. Change management team is going to governance body where the change management is going to verify what is the impact analysis, what is the installation plan is properly defined or not, is that SOP document is mentioned or not, any KB article referred or not, any KB article is attached to the change record or not. They'll verify all these things, they'll check the quality check and then provide an approval. Once change management says that quality is okay, then it is going to go to business approvals. Business approval in the sense, manager need to approve. From the customer side, they need to respect to tower ahead is going to approve the change. There are certain process flow. Technical team as a SME need to approval. After SME, The manager is need to approval. The manager approves, then it is going to the customer management. The customer management, who is the responsible for this service, they have to provide the approval. Once the all approvals are in place, the change is ready to process. Without approval, without knowledge, without having all the cap call discussions, the change is not going to approve. Without approval, the change is not going to schedule status. Without approval, you are not eligible to perform that action. Okay, you need to get all approvals and to perform even small reboot also. Sometimes change record is required. So we need to get all approvals because the change rebooting the system may impact the application, they may impact the business. So they'll provide a certain window from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. During that time, no users are going to use. So you need to reboot the server only during that time. For that also, customer has to approval or change management, whatever the required we are going to create, that has to discuss in the cap call. Okay. If the change record is not going to go through the cap call, then whatever the change, we are going to create emergency change. Cap call is going to schedule weekly once or weekly twice. Okay. The change, whatever the change we are looking for, we are not able to fulfill that change. We cannot wait until cap call. We cannot discuss in the cap call because if the cap call may be Friday, but I need to implement on Tuesday. So whatever the change record, it is not going to go through the cap call. We are going to create an emergency change and we are going to get emergency approvals from the respective stakeholders. That's an emergency change. Normal change in the sense it is going to fulfill. We are going to discuss in the cap call and it has a defined time limit. For example, it is going to schedule on Friday. I'm going to create a change record on Monday. So we are going to discuss in cap call, which is going to schedule on Wednesday. I can discuss on Wednesday cap call and gets all approvals in place. The change is scheduled for Friday. Once we get all approvals, I'm eligible to perform that action on Friday as per agreed timelines. That is comes under normal change. What is the standard change? Standard change in the sense, it is a predefined approval. There, when you no need to discuss in the cap call, standard changes is it is in SLA agreement itself. They agreed, mutually agreed by service provider and customer. Some updates, Windows updates. Windows update is a monthly activity. It is not going to, no need to discuss on the cap call. The customer has to agree, okay, the Windows updates are common procedure. We can approve, pre-approve. We are approving pre-approve, providing pre-approval. You can perform as per this defined window. They'll provide some defined window. Only during that window, the standards changes can be executed. Okay, that is a standard change. There are other changes available as per the agreement between the client and the service provider. Okay, this is a change management. In the change management, cap call, how it is plays an important role. Change advisory board. Change advisory board means they are server heads, application head, customer infrastructure head, service provider head, client head, and technical teams who is going to perform. Everyone is going to join and discuss about that change, what you are going to modify. Okay, that's the change management. What is the configuration management? Configuration management is nothing but whatever the inventory, inventory in the sense, I have the servers in my environment, number of servers are available. Each component, how many Windows servers are available, how many Windows 2008 servers are available, how many 2012 servers are available, how many Linux servers are available in infrastructure. For each component, even network device, network port, how many network cards available, what is the serial number of the server, what is it, a virtual server, is it a physical server, everything is going to define in the CMD, configuration management database. We are going to refer that inventory, we call it as inventory in the sense what components are available in my environment. What are the components are available in my environment? That is going to comes under configuration management, CMDB. CMDB means configuration management database. Inventory. Inventory in the sense, what is a server? What is the server name? What is the server operating system installed? Is it a virtual server? Is it a physical server? Everything is going to define in that CMDB. That is inventory. We are going to refer to this inventory. That we call it as configuration item. For each configuration item, even server name is a configuration item. Okay, what is a configuration item? As a server name or a host name or any object name, anything we are going to configuration item. What item, what is the server name you are going to perform this change? What server name you are going to performing investigation? Everything is refers to the configuration management. You are creating an instance. What purpose you are creating instance? For this server, I am creating an instance. That is, they are going to refer to this CMDB, referring to this inventory. These many servers are available. Each server, one server is going to have 2 CPU and 4 GB RAM. Maybe other server maybe 24 GB RAM. So we can pull the information from the CMDB, how many servers are having 24 GB RAM, how many servers are running with 2 GB RAM, how many Linux servers are available in my environment, how many Windows servers are available. Everything they are going to enter into this particular CMDB. That is a configuration management. This configuration management are inbuilt with this respective tool which we are going to use. Okay, the ticketing tool. With that ticketing tool, they are going to define the pull the report for this server, how many tickets, for this issue, how many tickets. Everything is going to refer to the configuration management. Okay, this is all about the basic requirements for this server administration. As a we should understand what is a process knowledge. Process knowledge talks about all this information which related to all this information. Who is what and what is who is going to work perform all these operations are going to comes in this problem process management. Process management, it comes under ITL process. Whoever is working in infrastructure management. Infrastructure management in the sense it comes under server administrator, database administrator, network administrator, anything, any service which is going to deal with the infrastructure services, IT services management. What are the components comes under IT services management? Everything is going to comes under process knowledge. What is this process is going to define? That is ITIL. As a system administrator, what we need to understand, what is incident management, what is the impact analysis, what is a P1, P2, what is the problem management, who is going to work on what support, who is L1, L2 engineers, who are L3 engineers, who is going to support L4, the final support L4. Some organization going to the top level support is L3 only. Some organization they must provide L4. They call it as a technical lead who is going to guide the team to perform all the information. Team lead, a technical lead, whatever it may be. Okay, this is a hierarchy every organization is going to follow. Okay, the documents, what are the issues are going to come into picture. They are going to create a knowledge base articles for the respective client according to knowledge base articles. The L1 and L2 engineers in trying to resolve the issues. If they are not able to resolve the issues, they are going to escalate to L3 and L4 engineers. This is a process flow. When the change management is going to come in picture, when the CAP call is going to, what is a CAP call? Okay, what is the configuration management? What is the CMDB? What is the inventory? Okay, by